Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare-certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
I would recommend Angel Care to anybody. They have really helped me regain my strength.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible. Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
I couldn't have survived this without Angels Care.
Eagle Community Television presents Community Connection with your host, Mike Cooper.
Hello and welcome again to Community Connection from Eagle Community Television. Thanks for watching, and thanks as always to our producer, Jeff Durall. We're at the Hayes Arts Council location, and joining us is the Executive Director of the Hayes Arts Council, Brenda Meder, now in her 26th year.
I know, isn't that hard to believe? It just felt like 25 years just happened, and now we're a few months past that.
Oh.
But yeah, it's been a long ride,
And a very successful one too, we
thank you.
might add. The first Arts Council in the state of Kansas.
The first one formed, developed in late 65, 66, chartered in 67, and been going strong really since then. There's never been a year where the Arts Council wasn't existing or serving. Like so many organizations, you know, it may be like it almost folds for a while and then rekindles. And what's really awesome is so many of the programs that we're doing now, like the Smoky Hill exhibit, the 5-state photography, we're part of those very early years, some of the things that we're doing with kids in the school. So that's kind of wonderful to know that there was such a strong foundation laid even then, that a lot of those projects are continuing now with, of course, a lot of expansion and other opportunities, as you know, they got a facility and they were able to have staff. So a really great legacy for a lot of people who worked really hard once upon a time.
Speaking of the 5-state photography exhibit, the 32nd annual, out of 389 photographs submitted this year, 159 were selected by the juror. And you're going to have to hurry because it's in its final week.
It is. So when people are watching this, they will still be able to come down and see this exhibition. But yeah, we every year, and it's judged from actual works, we will get approximately 400, sometimes it's been as high as 450 works submitted, and it's the actual works. So photographers know that the judge is going to see the piece in the size, the format, the presentation that they wanted it to be shown in, versus like a digital image and doing the adjudicating through digital means, electronic means. So it's all available for the judge to see. And when our judge this year came on site to peruse everything, every single piece is visible when the judge walks in. So it's not like they're rifling through stacks or having to pick things up or turn them over. It's all on display. In fact, we give our community a chance to come in and see everything the day before the judge does arrive, to let them know how much work is in here, how many great pieces won't even be seen by the public once the show opens. And it did open December 4th as the anchor of our Winter Art Walk. And like you said, we'll conclude at the end of the week that this is being shown, so January 22nd, next week Friday.
We better talk about hours and location of the Arts Council for those who may not know.
Officially, we're 10 to 4. I'm usually here by at least 9 in the morning, and often someone's here much later than 4 o'clock. But those are the official hours, including over the noon hour. So even if you've just got a little time available on your lunch hour, maybe you're hopping across the street here to pop in at Gella's for lunch, pop in here maybe when you finish and just take a real quick look, even if that's all you've got. And if you're someone watching who hasn't had a chance to get down here, hadn't seen it at the opening, if you go to our Facebook page, Hayes Arts Council, we have a couple of albums there, one with a lot of shots just of the exhibition, as you see it now in the gallery, where you can just kind of get the sense of the show, close-up of some pieces, and then also the award-winning works. We actually have those featured in that album as well as the gallery shots. So you can really see the work. And then there's another album that is posted with a number of wonderful images from the night of the opening, which of course, as I said, was the Winter Art Walk. So you can also see all the activity, the people, as well as some of the other sites that were participating in the Winter Art Walk and some of the activity from those sites as well. So like I said, at the Facebook page, go into our photo albums and see some really great images from the show.
She's been working really hard on the Facebook page, as well as, of course, the Hayes Arts Council website
Yes,
as well.
which we're in a process of revamping. So we're not completely up to date on our hayesartscouncil.org right now. We're transitioning to a new site. It'll probably be a couple of weeks before we have that one functional, at least in part. So bear with us on that. But you can check Facebook to always be kept apprised of everything going on, because that's very easy to make sure that we're firing off information and updates through that.
And just to let you know that we're getting our money's worth, over 100 photos here.
159.
150. How long did it take you to position, to set up, to put up?
You know, really, it is that placement that's the big thing, because after just the whole process, there is no more time-consuming or labor-intensive project anytime during the year than is the 5-state photography, because of, you know, the unpacking, the processing, getting ready for judging, and then reprocessing what's in, what's out, packing up what's didn't get in, putting it away till photographers come to get it. But then it is usually at least 5 hours, I would say, most years, to place and maneuver all the work, because it is important that it look good. You don't just slap these things up salon style when it's the exhibition. And I always tell people, think how much time you spend when you rearrange your living room or your bedroom and you want to rehang just a handful of pieces of art, and where should they be, and how high, and does this go with this, and should I put this here?
Or in Jeff's case, is it straight?
Is it straight?
Yeah.
And well, we have an issue with that sometimes. Is people are walking in old buildings, things vibrate a little bit, and they get a little
So
cattywampus.
how much time did your Apple Watch tell you that
I don't,
you had put
well,
in?
I tell you what, it didn't tell me how much time, but I do know that on opening receptions, that day with getting ready for everything, well, no, actually, easily, you know, 15 to 20,000 steps on a day when you're working on setting the 5-state is not a problem. An opening reception, I've checked on those. I've gotten around 25,000 steps before from start to finish on the day. But hanging it then takes time. But really, it's the positioning. Once you're hanging it, it's, you know, keeping it straight and putting it up. But it's well worth it. This is one of our most popular and well responded to projects that we do in the course of the entire year. And so anybody who's interested in photography and sees this, know that you're eligible. This is open to any photographer in Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Colorado. There are cash awards, a professional judge, the catalogs as you showed, and the next go-round will start shortly after Labor Day, again this year.
The year 2016 at the Hayes Arts Council actually began with a children's theater production last week. And last week when we were on the morning show with Boomer and Mike, you talked about the children's production, the first of the season. And one of the statements that you made stood out to me, and that was you wish you could do more of these type of things.
Yeah, these are amazing productions. And since we can't do a lot of shows, it's like what we're going to bring in, we want to be really good. And Dallas Children's Theater is one of the biggest, best children's theater companies in the country. The show they travel with, it's encore level for family audiences. And so being able to have a show like BFG is pretty exciting. And so we're very proud of the caliber that we bring in. And of course, Friday the 15th, you know, 850 kids in 2nd and 3rd grade from Hayes, Ellis, Victoria, Plainville, and Russell. So we impact 3 counties with these projects. And then, of course, you know, Saturday the 16th, tons of family and young children and an autograph session. So it's wonderful to be able to serve those audiences that even have, you know, that are farther reaching, perhaps in Western Kansas, that even have less opportunity and exposure to these experiences than we do here in Hayes. And of course, we're, you know, a little bit limited from some of the really big things that might go on in other cities. But tell you what, I don't think anything more could go on for our young people collectively than does here in our community. And I've been told that actually by people in larger communities and larger school districts who say, you know, our kids don't get as many of these incredible cultural outreach opportunities as the kids in Hayes do. And that's pretty exciting.
One of the important things is that, as you mentioned, the ticket prices for this production in Hayes were lower than what it was actually in Dallas for the originating theater company.
Yeah. Dallas, in middle May when this tour ends, which started last fall, they'll be doing it again at the Dallas Children's Theater, their own production, and tickets are $25 a person. I have found lots of places across the country that had their tickets at anywhere from $15 to $23 per person, children or adult, hours 5 and 7. But with great underwriting like the Schmidt Foundation, Heartland Community Foundation, Midwest Energies for some support facility assistance, you know, all those partners coming together really enable us to do so much for the young people in our community. And there's so much of that going on for the rest of the semester.
As an artist, why is this important to young people to see these things?
It broadens your horizon, your world perspective. In the case of bringing in children's theater, it may open the door to or augment their experiences with great literature. You've got a play like that, based on the work of one of the most famous children's authors in the world, Roald Dahl, of all time. And so the connections that people make by their experiences or through their experiences in the arts, adult or children, can be really profound. Doesn't mean that you may go into a career in the arts or become, a literary artist or performing artist or a visual artist, but it broadens your worldview, opens doors to other experiences, provides information, a great source of historical connection. And then, of course, if you end up becoming involved in it, even in peripheral ways, like with Famous Figures project that we'll be doing a little later this spring, the poise, the self-confidence, the ability to speak in public by actually then engaging in it. The creative writing contest that'll be coming up later this spring, just got the information out for that. When you can, if you're not good at expressing yourself publicly or verbally, some of us don't have as much of a problem with that as others, but
we hadn't noticed, had we?
Well, this group here does just fine with that as well. But if that's not your forte, maybe it's with the written word. And so giving young people a forum and an opportunity to express their thoughts, their feelings, and their identity through either short stories or poetry with our creative writing content, and then be recognized for it if they're really good. How exciting is that? And so that's why that program continues. And that program is actually one of the oldest programs that the Arts Council has ever done. There's been a creative writing contest or awards recognition opportunity, even if it started out as a middle school tea for young writers, but like I said, now it's K through 12. But that was actually one of the first standing projects that the Hayes Arts Council ever did, was recognizing young literary writers.
Well, and who knows, Brenda, how many of those kids that were involved in Famous Figures went on to have more self-confidence because they did that particular activity.
Oh yeah, and I think that's why we see such incredible responses from both of our local high schools to to the plays and to the musicals and to the speech, debate, and forensics programs, because once you whet your appetite, if that's who you are, if the appetite gets whetted, who knows what the possibilities are. But you've got to have those exposures and those experiences for people to even know that those opportunities exist or what they feel like.
Let's highlight some of the coming events here in our last couple of minutes for the year of 2016. Well,
as I said, creative writing, Famous Figures coming up for young people. At the end of this month, we will have Kelly Wirtz back in town. Well, he'll be based in Hayes, but again, we'll hit all the public and private schools in Hayes, Ellis, Victoria, Plainville, and Russell to celebrate Kansas Day. We do this every year. So it's a wonderful cross-curriculum focus of music, storytelling, and history. And it's a wonderful way to impart that to young people. So these will be full school assemblies. So that week will impact over 2,000 young people, probably about 2,500 young people will impact that week. And the end of April, we'll be coming in with our big spring art walk. And earlier in April, we'll have a wonderful encore outreach that we will be having for 4th and 5th graders in those same schools that I mentioned. Some other wonderful exhibitions coming up. So there's so much. There's never not something going on, either within our facility or outside of it. The community acoustic jam sessions continue in our 1010 main building. The first Saturday of every month from 2 to 4 p.m. Musicians just come, they hang out, they play guitar, fiddle, banjos, accordions, harmonicas, whatever, or just tap your feet and sing. But that's 2 to 4 the first Saturday of every month. Open to the public to either participate or just listen. And so expanding that area a little bit. If anybody's listening and they either want to be an artist as part of the Spring Art Walk, an artist performing or visual, or their location here in our community, make sure you get in touch with me, because those things start snowballing much more quickly than they used to. But again, that'll be the last Friday, which I think is April 29th, but the last Friday in April. So all of these kind of things just taking place. And again, until I get the website in good position, check our Facebook page. Hayes Arts Council serves as a website kind of outlet with lots of information there. Just scroll through our postings and you'll be kept apprised of an awful lot of stuff.
Hayes Arts Council Executive Director Brenda Meder, our Community Connection.
Angels Care Home Health, serving Hayes and the surrounding areas, is a Medicare certified home health agency providing quality skilled nursing and restorative therapy services to patients in their homes.
There's not any words to describe their kindness.
Angels Care is there to help 24 hours a day, and all services are covered 100% by Medicare for patients who are eligible. Angels Care Home Health. We serve patients.
They saved my life.